Do we think AI and technology is taking over the human race? Are we in competition with AI? I found so many lessons in my hardships, and if I didn't have that, I don't know how I would be who I am today. So if I had Alexa doing everything or Siri doing everything, that is hard for me. Wouldn't you get lazy?
Exactly. The impetus comes from you, not the AI.
The AI isn't schmoozing your wife
No.
or schmoozing your... Yeah, I hear
You
that.
are telling the AI how you would like the schmoozing to be done and to support you with the schmoozing.
Do we think AI and technology is taking over the human race? Are we in competition with AI? Sydney and I are going to talk about it today on Teddy Talks. Welcome back, everyone, to Teddy Talks. Teddy Suarez here. And I think that question is something that a lot of people are worried right now. I know we heard Skepta talk about the fact that, was it him and Dave talking on stage around AI taking over the music industry in a certain capacity around the lyrics, AI generating lyrics, AI generating tunes, AI replacing, because obviously Drake did the whole Tupac revival, which had a lot of
freestyle.
Yeah, on tailor-made freestyle, which had a lot of controversy, which ended up having to even be taken down. But like it's worrying. Like AI is supposed to, the way I thought of AI anyway, was supposed to help us make things easier, make things more streamlined. And instead we're getting an iRobot moment. Do you remember iRobot, the Will Smith movie, where it's kind of like, are we in competition? Are they taking over? Are they better than humans? Or should we have the confidence in our talent, in what we're doing? Because deepfake is a real issue right now, don't you think?
Yeah, it's definitely a real issue. It's causing a lot of problems in not only the music industry but also in the world of acting. You were talking about Dave and Skepta's conversation, which was basically to reignite each other's fire and let each other know that we are still valuable.
Yeah.
So believe in your own source and go out and get it.
It was an inspirational speech from Skepta. Obviously, we love Skepta. We love his tunes. We love his music. We love his come up. We love his grind. Just as well, we love Dave as well. But it was insightful because we use AI. We use ChatGPT. I don't know. I mean, I've never used it in my content. I don't think I ever will use it in my content. But I think that is in relation to what I do directly. When I'm on Instagram, when I'm on social media and I'm looking at certain profiles that come up on my explore page and I'm like, oh, who's this individual? And it's just an AI profile. And I'm like, whoa. It's an AI profile of a fashionable guy, looks absolutely fashionable. I'm like, oh, this guy's content is cool. AI generated. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
And to some people, they might think, well, why doesn't All Saints work with this AI generated person? What does that do for the modeling industry? What does that do for the influencers of this world? What does that do to the celebrities that are working in these films? I think one of the films that I wouldn't say had criticism. I don't know too much about the criticism, but what I do know is that Rogue One, Star Wars, they had a is it Peter Crush revival? So they brought him back within the Rogue One scene. And it's kind of like you kind of sit on the fence, and do you give? Yes, this is an iconic moment within the Star Wars series, but do you give a youngster the opportunity, or someone else the opportunity to fill the space within that role? Because I remember when Harry Potter, was it Harry Potter? Yeah, Gandalf died, right? The actor, sorry, let me make that clear. The actor of the original Philosopher's Stone.
Dumbledore. You were mixing up Lord of the Rings and
who is
Harry Potter.
Gandalf?
Yeah, I think the actor that plays
Gandalf is the same person.
The same person that plays
Thank
Dumbledore.
God for that.
Yeah. It was. It's not.
It wasn't.
It's not.
Oh, right, shit. Let's replay that.
Yeah.
So, Dumbledore died.
Right.
Or the actor died in the first Harry Potter.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. But I remember the impact when the new Dumbledore came on. That wasn't AI, right? That was like a completely new actor that's now come on. And
we did see AI being used when Paul Walker died. I remember in the last few scenes in the Fast and Furious where he was filming it, but he wasn't there for the last few.
But do you know what I loved about that though? And this is again the caveat. The brother. It wasn't just a complete AI version of Paul Walker. They actually used the brother and made, unless I'm wrong, I might be wrong on this, but I think they used the brother as the shell almost. And then, tweaked the look of it. I believe, I might be wrong, but I believe that, and if that's the case, personally, I very much would prefer that we're giving other people the opportunity, the experience to actually fill the shoes of whatever an iconic moment that a series or a trilogy is happening. Like I don't know. I couldn't imagine having grown up on The Matrix and there's now a God forbid, Keanu Reeves, touch wood, if he passed away, and then there's just an AI version of Keanu Reeves doing The Matrix, which, like the scenes that came out of The Matrix, to then allow AI, robot, deepfake, whatever you want to call it, to come in and fulfill that role, it almost feels too easy. I don't know, I might be being pedantic, but how do you feel about it? I kind of feel like we need to respect it a little bit.
I think we do need to be
respect the talent. Let me make that clear. We need to respect the talent a little bit.
Yeah, we need to respect the value that humans do bring to the world and use AI as more as a tool to make things better. And not see it as a competition, but just look at it as something to complement what we already do. But I found it interesting that you touched on The Matrix, because The Matrix was ahead of its time, and it touched on the use of AI. I mean, they called it the machines, that were I guess programmed to feed on humans and use humans as an energy source and
create a specific ecosystem, right?
Yeah. And it's interesting because where the world is heading right now is quite similar to, well, I'm not saying that, it's going to be like
plug in, plug out kind of thing.
Apocalypse sort of thing. Where, is it going to be the rise of the machines? But that is actually one of the biggest fears that people do have.
Bro, I'm feeling it right now.
Because if
when I stumbled across that AI page, I was like, whoa.
It's scary. And
there's a takeover going on right now. And I don't know.
The West, they are so much smarter than we are. So scary that Google had to shut down certain AI projects because they were going out of control. And, once, we still don't understand what does it mean to be conscious. Like what does it actually mean to have your own thoughts, have your own feelings, and have your own will. Like what does that actually, what actually makes, we still don't really understand the human experience. We're still trying to figure that out. We still don't even know everything that we can know about the brain. We still don't even know everything there is about space. But you know, we have AI here that can help plug some of these gaps. And I think those are some of the really important positive things that we can get from the use of AI. But what you were talking about, the use of deepfake technology specifically, I think the danger in that is, you know, when it comes to manipulation, you know, in changing the public's opinion around things. I'm thinking about, you know, the use of deepfake technology to influence the direction in which an election might be decided.
What would that look like?
You know, for example, if a video starts going viral of Donald Trump saying that, you know, he loves black people, and you know,
I'm laughing.
Maybe he did say that. Maybe he didn't. But how would you know if you've seen this video and you can't tell the difference between whether?
Did he say that? Has he said that?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
That's a crazy scenario.
He did do something really interesting a number of years ago when he didn't free a lot of exonerated, you know, a lot of black males who went to jail.
Yes, and there was a period when Meek Mill and
Kodak
Donald
Black
Trump ended up being like really best buds kind of thing.
Yeah, and I don't know, I can't remember whether he had a hand in, I can't remember whether it was during that period he had a hand in A$AP Rocky getting released from prison in Sweden when he got put into jail in Sweden for allegedly beating up a fan that tried to attack him. I'm not saying he does care about people or specific type of people. Yeah, I'm not saying that. But it was just an example.
There's a lot of political gain. As the nuance of what you're saying is that there's a lot of political gain to be had if there was an inauthentic version of Donald Trump saying he loves a race or a society. There's so much political gain, which means that actually, if today Donald Trump or anyone in a powerful position woke up and said, actually, I don't want to do that, but their team suggests that this is the best way to gain political power over, you know, this state or this community or this town or this village, not even just America, even the UK. Imagine seeing a video with Nick, is it Nick Pleb or Nick Kleb or whatever his name is, the UKIP guy, and he turns around and he's doing something that's out of the norm, but actually it's not him, it's an AI, which makes it completely look authentic and look, oh wow, he's had a change of heart around border policies and all these things. But actually, it was an AI. But fairness where fairness is due, and I love that Instagram, I mean, I don't know how prevalent it is and how it works, but I know that Instagram, I don't know if you've seen it, Instagram now has a tab that you have to label whether or not your video is an AI video or not. So you can't just put out an AI video, which is fantastic. I think that's definitely getting ahead of the curve.
What about the people who don't, you know, click on that button to you know, mark this video as an AI video? Are they getting away with putting out false information? Does Instagram catch it? Are there some
I would hope so. I don't know too much about it, but what I would definitely hope so. And things actually outside of social media, when we're looking at film, there was a dispute about the Roadhouse movie around whether or not Jack, the main actor, Jack
Gyllenhaal.
Yes, or was it Jake? Jake
Jake
Gyllenhaal.
Gyllenhaal.
So bad with names, people. You'll notice this over time. But whether or not some of his moments within that movie was an AI voice, because they tried to make his voice as close to the original movie as possible. But obviously they came out and he came out, I believe, and said no. Like, it's me. Like, I'm an actor at the end of the day. This is part of my job and whatnot. I'm paraphrasing here, but personally, again, if it was me, I also would take offense if it was also, deep down, it was actually my hard work. I worked on this accent for months on end, and that's another side of it. I'm now being painted with a brush that it's so good that everyone is assuming that it's AI. Do you know how mad that is? So it's not just that you're doing the right thing. Well, who's to say it's the right thing or wrong thing, whether or not you use AI or not? Like, it's fantastic that we have technology and technology is advancing, yes. But how do we manage the duty of care, the responsibility, the abuse of this tool, the AI tool? How do we manage it? Because I can only imagine that it will, at some point, it could possibly get out of control. Like we've seen in iRobot, like we've seen in The Matrix, like we've seen in all these movies, which sometimes, call me a conspiracy theorist, I kind of think that the directors and the writers and the people that create these trilogies and these amazing fantasies, it runs as something.
There's speaking of conspiracy theories, there's a theory that AI is going to push the human race through the next stage of evolution, and whether it's AI and humans like integrating with each other, whether it's going to be through the likes of Elon Musk and his Neuralink, or whatever technology that we can't envisage now, but that will come into place in the future. There's a belief that we will reach this point called the singularity.
What is that?
It's like where there's no other possible room for growth. Like when intelligence meets its maximum point. And this is that theory. That theory is also, it doesn't hold true, but it's also talked about in the world of science and like the Big Bang theory. Where there's this belief that the universe is constantly expanding after the Big Bang, but like with every action there's a reaction. So after it finishes contracting, it'll also begin to contract over a span of millions of years again, reaching a single point, which is one singular point, singularity, is where the Big Bang started off. And in a similar way, there's this belief that us as human beings were going through that evolutionary progression to that singular point where you can't become more intelligent. AI will know everything there is to know about everything. There'll be a point where every single disease would be some way curable. What a dream would that be if we're using AI in the right way? what a dream would it be if you and I would never have to lift a finger to work because we have AI robots programmed with our beliefs and our values that goes out and does the work for us.
Okay, could you stomach that? Do you think you can, for want of a better phrase, be bone idle? Because that is a danger. I can't just be on holiday 12 months a year. 12 months a year. I can't picture what that would look like.
Some people do it though. They go traveling and they go backpacking for ages and
What, for 12 months?
for 12 months for a whole, what they call that a sabbatical in the UK.
They call that a sabbatical in the UK.
Yeah.
For 12 months, you're off.
You're off. You're like, I'm going to
And
take a year
what's
out
happened
traveling.
to your what?
Yeah, well, yeah, if you if your employer likes you, maybe they'll give you a job when you come back. Well,
Is it?
yeah,
So technically you're still on the books.
it's technically, yeah. Yeah, depending on what sort of arrangement you had with your employer before you took your sabbatical. Well, look, maybe that would be nice to do more living and less working. But I think,
Did you know what? What you just said there is brilliant. More living, and I wouldn't say less working, I'd probably say less struggle. But the problem with that is I've found so many lessons from being in the trenches. I found so many lessons in my hardships. And if I didn't have that, I don't know how I would be who I am today. So if I had Alexa doing everything or Siri doing everything that is hard for me, like, couldn't you get lazy? From a relationship point of view, Valentine's is coming up. Oh, Alexa, Valentine's is coming up. I haven't thought of anything. Can you help? Yes.
Absolutely, Teddy.
There's this fancy restaurant that's almost 10 miles away.
Wouldn't you be really grateful if Alexa saved you from...
I would, because it saves an argument in the short instance. But where's the effort? Where's the value? Where's the emotion that's gone into it? Where's the feeling? There's
a certain level of satisfaction you get from doing the work.
And there's a disconnect. I don't want to be disconnected to my feelings with my partner, my feelings with what I believe is working hard or not. And
If we just need to change what we place our importance on, like, is it the logistics of finding the right place, or is it, figuring that out really quickly with the help of AI, and you're now just focusing on having a really good time at the date? Because
that's true, because you have to prompt AI. You can't just AI doesn't. It can't read your mind.
No.
So I agree with that to a certain extent. But I still think that it's all right. So like, if I was thinking about staying on the theme of a Valentine's idea, or let's say a birthday. It's my girlfriend's birthday. I'm single, but it's my girlfriend's birthday next month. I don't know. I prompt AI with a few different ideas. My girlfriend likes this, that, and the other.
Your imaginary girlfriend.
My imaginary girlfriend likes this, that, and the other.
What's her name?
What's her name? I'm calling her Jemima.
Jemima. That's a familiar name.
Oh, I was hoping you wouldn't say that. But anyway. Maybe Susie.
Oh, interesting.
I'm going to say Susie for the moment. Anyway.
Yeah, that's
but
a
anyway.
nice name as well.
But like
There's no babies these days called Susies, though, right?
There's no babies called Susie.
No.
Where are we going with that? What
No,
you want a baby called Susie?
just a side note.
There's not many babies called Sydney, though.
No, we're rare breeds.
Yeah. Both S's. But anyway, we'll leave that alone. But yeah, so if you're prompting AI to, what's the perfect date or the perfect birthday gift or day, but what's the perfect birthday celebration for my girlfriend Susie, who likes X, Y, Z? There's no effort in that.
No, but there's an effort in this. You would have identified that Susie likes X, Y, Z.
You reckon that's effort?
Yeah, that's it. You've been attentive. You've understood her character, and now you have gone to the kitchen, and you've chucked a couple of ingredients in there, and
you're still doing it. So if AI says, cook her a meal. These are the step-by-step processes.
It's a step-by-step process. You are the one. You
still have to walk the walk, essentially.
Yeah, exactly. The impetus comes from you, not the AI.
The AI isn't schmoozing your wife or schmoozing your... Yeah, I hear
you
that.
are telling the AI how you would like the schmoozing to be done and to support you with the schmoozing.
The support is important.
Support is very. We all need. Sometimes you need a crutch.
Okay, so do you know what's interesting then? I know we were talking about deepfakes and AI from a negative point of view and how it affects filming industry, music. What about from a positive point of view, the uplifting point of view, the point of view that it actually works? So I'm going through... All right, I'm a legendary writer, I'm a legendary musician, or my relationship is failing. How do I save my relationship? Or furthermore, mentally, this is putting a huge strain on me. What's the best way to navigate this? You're now talking to your AI almost as a therapist. Is that healthy?
Depends how good the AI is you're talking to. Like, is it the latest version of ChatGPT that might be able to understand certain cues better, certain contexts better? Or is it, one of the dumbed down versions of AI which can't give you everything that you might need from an expert? There's an opportunity on the positive front for us to use AI to create learning environments. Like, for example, if you are in the military and you've used, let's say, Facebook's Oculus virtual headset to navigate what it would feel like going through a building that you need to clear each room, with your teammates, and you need to go and feel that feeling and hear the things and sense the things that you'd be sensing, and AI might be able to help you do that. Or maybe what can AI help you do in the realms of...
I saw a really cool one, I think, with Oculus, where a guy, I think it might have been an ad, a guy was he put on the what's it called?
The headset?
Yeah, no, the actual virtual reality. Is it virtual reality?
Virtual reality,
yeah. Virtual reality. So he put on the virtual reality Oculus, and it was showing him the instructions on how to fix the cot. And he couldn't find. I don't think the cot came with the instructions. So he puts this headset on, and it's got everything visually showing him the step-by-step process, almost like a builder's doing it there and then.
Wow.
And obviously you can imagine, as you said, from a time point of view, saves time, makes everything easier, makes the process less strenuous, and you actually get it done correctly if you follow the steps, right? And I think that's when, yes, you can argue it works. But from the mental point of view, that's where I was asking, someone that's really, really struggling, and you're talking to AI, and the AI is telling you that something that your therapist may tell you, completely different to what the AI is telling you. How do we distinguish that? How do we distinguish whether or not the AI is going down the right path for its host, let's call us, as opposed to the therapist who has got 10, 20, 30 years experience within the field and the game of dealing with humans and dealing with humanity? The AI is something that's just generated. Could have been built yesterday. Right?
Yeah, it's hard.
How do we deal with that?
It's hard to distinguish between the two. You know, we've seen examples of that. I think more recently, Scarlett Johansson was going back and forth with, I think, Sam Altman, owner of ChatGPT, over the fact that they were using her voice in a similar way to, you know, Apple creates a Siri voice.
Oh, I would love
without
that.
her permission.
I would love that.
Yeah.
If Scarlett Johansson was telling me to turn left and right, I would turn left and right, my bro.
You jump, man. You jump high. How high? You should say jump. You'll say how high.
I reckon I'll jump that high still. But I would like to hear it.
Yeah, and I think, do you know what? There was other things as well, which I don't know whether it's true or not, where they were also using deepfake technology to attach a head onto porn. Yeah. So
No,
there'll be
you say yeah, what do you mean?
pornographic images. They would tweak it by using deepfakes. So there's also this.
What are they tweaking?
They'll be replacing the person's head with a famous actress.
Oh,
or maybe a famous.
See, branding wise, that's hella problematic.
That's very, very problematic.
Because now it looks like the actor or actress has had a sex tape leak or something.
Exactly, it's very damaging.
It's very damaging.
Because once it's out there, it's also out there as well.
For the families, for everyone that's connected to that individual. That's
exactly. And then you also have, you know, these other things that could potentially happen in the future. You know, let's say now, for example, with the whole Diddy and Cassie scenario, we know that there's been a huge can of worms that have been opened in the investigations with what's been said and what's happened, and, you know, the Diddy freak-offs and all the crazy stuff around that. But what happens when you have a bad player in those sort of situations who is also creating false evidence to support situations? Like, for example, what if, you know, I'm not saying Diddy would do that, but what if he would create voice notes of back and forth between him and Cassie? How would we, as the public, be able to discern, was Diddy actually saying that? Was Cassie actually saying that? What's real? What's fake?
Because the story could easily be manipulated as Cassie enjoyed everything that was going on through the voice notes that you're mentioning that could potentially be regenerated through AI. But this is where I do feel like I would hope that with every bit of AI technology that's being released, there's a way to track and trace the usage of what's going on. So like if we lose our iPhones, for example's sake, Find My Friends, you can jump on it and hopefully you get your iPhone tomorrow. You know exactly where it is. My car, for example, say my Mercedes app, I know where my car is last parked just by jumping on the app. So there's a track and trace of the technology. So if it's being used, like hopefully we'll be able to, especially when it comes to serious ramifications, serial cases like Diddy's and Cassie's case, where yes, you can throw millions and billions of pounds at the case and the technology can then be utilized to then manipulate it. I hope that's not the case, but you would like to think that where things are being created, fingers crossed, I hope it's more than fingers crossed and there's something more serious behind it, but we can trace these things. Because for the most part, when you watch Rogue One, Star Wars, like people emotionally reconnected with the fact that they're bringing back an iconic moment within a movie. Musicians, similarly in the same way, you can appreciate that the music sounds good, regardless of whether or not it's an AI tool or not. My biggest fear, my biggest issue is the replacement of humans in the role that they're doing right now, all their talent, everything that's gone on through history, and just replacing that with AI. That is my biggest fear. The great Scorsese movies, the great movies that we've watched over time, the great music moments that we've had within either Afrobeat, hip-hop, rap, indie, whatever genre people love out there, but those great moments that we've had that have been generated through either the individual artist, or maybe there's a ghostwriter, or maybe there's a team around it. Whatever it might be, everybody's pulled through. But then to just jump on, hey Siri, today I'd like to be a musician. Could you write me a song? Like that, that is where I think there needs to be a balance between almost like divine right. Because when we see someone like Beyonce singing and, you know, she's hitting some phenomenal notes. You see some opera singers singing and they're hitting some phenomenal notes. There's some viral moments that have happened on Instagram where you see someone random within the heart of Africa. There's a group of people singing together and it's so powerful and it touches your soul. And those moments that you can feel being taken away by AI because AI can generate that moment, that is what's scary. Because you can no longer feel the pain of where that music or that moment has come from. You can no longer feel the feeling of what created that moment. Maybe an artist has gone through trauma. Maybe an artist has gone through something within their life that has led up to those lyrics, that's led up to the moment of, wow, I'm in the stage of 30,000 people now watching me. You know? How can we replace that moment? And what could that do to the human race if we allow that train to not be at least regulated or controlled to a certain instance?
No, I think there definitely needs to be more laws around the usage of AI, and technology will need to become more advanced for us to trace whether what we're seeing is deepfake technology or whether it's real. I think that another way of also looking at it is that, AI is not here to replace us, but, how much added value can we get from it too?
That's it.
And, let's say in a world where we may never ever get another Kendrick and Drake rap beef, and let's say they both decided to hang the gloves up, wouldn't it be really nice in 20, 30 years' time if we could just get AI to do another Kendrick and Drake beef? And let's say, what would it sound like now? And, that might also be exciting.
But this is what I was saying earlier on. Drake experimented with the Tupac thing.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a little bit of controversy around it.
Because it's new to people. It was the first, it wasn't the first time, but it was a very poignant moment in time.
But also
it's been introducing a rap beef.
But you're also messing with the idea of someone has passed away and you're bringing them back to life. The idea of, hang on, let them rest in peace. Hang on, how does the family feel about the fact that you're bringing back my son, my brother, my person who I already have come to terms with the fact that they've passed away? There's that moment as well. Obviously, this is a grander scale because it's someone that's got a prominent figure within the hip hop game and America and actually the world. Everybody loved Tupac, Biggie, and people. So when talk about the Rogue One, Peter, then bringing Peter back to life, create that iconic moment within Rogue One. Like it's these moments that have a love or hate relationship. You either really love it, you really have a distaste for the fact that you just didn't let that lie and let it rest. Because you're using the advantages of technology to really bring it back to life. And then actually, could you have, as a director or as a talent, the quote-unquote talent that we're talking about, have thought of something else that could have just made that moment just as extra special?
In terms of bringing people back to life, me personally, I would have loved to see, AI to try and make an attempt to bringing our dad back to life. If AI saw a video, one of the old cassettes of him, the way he could speak, the way he carried himself, his jokes, everything. If it could capture all of that, and then we could prompt AI to, tell it to create a video of, our dad saying happy birthday to our little sisters. Wouldn't that be really nice? Because they didn't get to experience what we got to experience with all those birthdays and how he would have said it. And, I think being able to recreate moments after someone's passed away, that can also be a good thing as well. If I would love to also be comfortable with the idea that if another one of my loved ones was to pass away, that now there's actually enough information about them online in terms of their digital footprint that I can recreate some sort of moment that could be, just personal, just for me. It's not going to be the same, but it's going to trigger memories in my mind.
Did you ever watch the movie Transcendence with Johnny Depp?
No, what was it about?
It was, Johnny Depp was a scientist, and it was essentially around the advancements of human technology, and they got to the point where Johnny Depp, they were in a dangerous moment, and there was a terrorist group that wasn't happy with where the technology was going and the advancements that was happening within AI, which could basically do what you talked about earlier on, which was cure everything. You're using nanotechnology to essentially make everything better within the world. So if you're blind, they would use nanotechnology to cure you. But there was a moment within the movie, if you haven't watched it, watch it. It's a fantastic movie in regards to what we're talking about, where the malicious group shot Johnny Depp with a bullet that was poisoned, which gave him a critical illness. Now, the wife, who was also a scientist, wasn't happy with it. She didn't come to terms with him passing away. So they're working tirelessly, and Johnny Depp was clever enough, the scientist within the moment was clever enough within the movie, to then bring themselves back to life, but as an AI tool. It was conscious, was still alive. His conscious was still there, which is what you were talking about roughly with Daddy, right?
Yeah. I have watched it.
You have watched it.
Movie,
yeah, so his conscious was still there. But it got to a dangerous moment where the conscious was almost too powerful. The AI tool was way too powerful, and it wanted to transcend all of humanity. It wanted to make humanity even better. So those people that couldn't walk, they were fixed within nanotechnology. Those people couldn't see nanotechnology. So beyond what you're talking about in terms of being able to have these precious moments, which is what the wife wanted with Johnny Depp as the husband, more than anything, because she got to a point where she realized all she wanted was those moments with him. As much as they wanted to change the world, what she wanted deep down was just to have those moments with him. And it wasn't quite the same, because the technology quickly realized that it was better than the humans. So my thing with that, as much as it would be amazing to recreate a moment with the afterlife, and I know there's so many people that would want to create a moment with the afterlife. I know I would want to create a moment with Daddy, like you mentioned. But I can't get away from the reality of how real is that moment, how authentic is the moment that I'm having with this AI tool. The Boys. Have you watched The Boys? You watched The Boys? I remember The Boys, the series, TV series on Amazon Prime, where one of the main characters, it's a series of superheroes, and one of the main characters lost a woman within the series, and the other superhero within the series is able to transform himself into whatever character they're able to transform themselves into, and they recreate that moment. But the moment that was recreated, because the personality wasn't exactly the same, you could never really create that exact individual that was once there. It wasn't the same for that superhero. He didn't feel connected with this person. It was it was so much more of a momentary moment. It was so short term that it almost disgusted him. And I kind of feel like if AI personally was to recreate a moment of you, Mommy, Daddy, Charlene, I don't know, I would be able to feel like, as much as this is very, very close to reality, you aren't Sydney, you aren't Mommy, you aren't Daddy, you aren't Charlene. And that is that's the mental restraints that I was talking about earlier on. Like, it's like,
yeah.
Yes, you can play on the sensitive, you can play on the weak, and you can make them, feel really good in those short-term moments. But how is that going to work long-term?
I really like that point. And it's a good segue to finish off on a quote. So this one's from The Matrix.
Oof.
There's a difference between knowing the path and walking the path.
Well, did that come from Morpheus?
Yes.
Oh my God. There's a difference between knowing the path and walking the path.
Yeah. So like with the AI technology, with all this deepfakes, we're going to have lots of information at our fingertips, and it's all well and good knowing what needs to be done. You can plan multiple strategies using AI, but at the end of the day, it's you that needs to go out and do the work.
And it's also you that has to go out and actually, although AI says you can, is it the right thing for you? You have to also distinguish between what is also good for you and what isn't, because I actually can imagine a world where AI can almost give you everything that you absolutely want. It can give you the perfect partner. It can give you the perfect outlook on yourself. It can make you feel like the most powerful person in the world. But is that the right thing for you, your makeup, you as the individual that maybe your family, your friends sees you as that person? And don't get me wrong, I do definitely agree with growing. I do agree with, hitting the next level in your life, always. But it has to be an actual feeling of, this is the right thing for me.
Mm.
This is what makes me happy. Sometimes having everything doesn't make you happy. As they always say, if you were, just because you have all the money in the world, it doesn't make you happy. Just because you have all the power in the world, it doesn't make you happy. And there's a reason for that. I do believe a lot of money in your pocket will make you happy. But I also do believe that there's a lot of things that can be dangerous around the feeling of being able to have everything and playing God almost.
Yeah. What's that other quote I'm about to remix where someone said something like, I'd rather be crying in a Ferrari than a Punto or something.
I'd rather be crying in a Ferrari than a Punto.
Yeah.
Depends what you're crying about though or not.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel that. But I am actually, in a weird way, we've both used AI, we've used ChatGPT, and I am actually grateful for the fact that technology is actually advancing. I just hope it advances in the right way. But yeah, I mean, let us know what you think. Let us know what you think on deepfakes, AI. How has it maybe affected you? Do you use it? And do you want it to continue in all the advancements? Let us know in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and tune in to our next episode next week. Thank you for joining us.